When it comes to hosting on Airbnb using rental arbitrage, the truth is most people fail because they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Look, I'm not saying hosting on Airbnb is easy, but if you want to actually make money in this business, you have to answer the question, how do you succeed with rental arbitrage? Sometimes you fail due to overthinking and doing what other hosts do at the expense of your own needs. Lucky for you, if you watch until the end of this video, not only will I tell you the exact reasons why Airbnb hosts suck at rental arbitrage, but I will also give you the exact reason why being tech savvy is extremely good for the business. So if that's something you're interested in, then without further ado, here are the 10 reasons why Airbnb rental arbitrage hosts fail. Number 1, they don't have a good relationship with their neighbors. Romantic relationship? Obviously not that one. When you're an Airbnb host, you're essentially opening up your home to strangers. You might have a great time and get along with everyone, but there's always a risk that someone might trash your place or just be too loud. The best way to avoid this is to make sure that you're on good terms with everyone around you. It's important that your neighbors know what you do and vice versa, and it's beneficial for everyone involved. If they know what they can expect, they can plan ahead and communicate better when something happens. It's not just about being a good neighbor, it's about being a good person. This will come back to you in the form of recommendations from guests and other hosts that stay at your place. And who knows, maybe you'll find yourself on each other's lists for future stays. Keep watching because in a minute I want to tell you why having a clean property sets you apart from the competition, but make sure to like and subscribe to the channel Life of a Landlord for more videos on this topic. Number 2, they fail to get the proper permits. It's a common misconception that Airbnb hosts don't need to worry about permits. Hosts are responsible for understanding the regulations that govern short-term rentals in their city, and many cities have strict regulations regarding where you can rent out your space. It's important to make sure you have the right permits before you start hosting, because if you don't and the city finds out, they'll shut you down and impose fines. You can check out your local laws for more information, and yes, I know it might seem like a lot of work, but it's well worth it. If you want more bookings, then do what it takes to get those permits in place so that more people can enjoy staying at your place. Number 3, their rental is illegal. You'd think it would be easy to rent out your house on Airbnb, but you'd be surprised. One reason why hosts fail is that their rental is illegal, and they don't even know it. If you're planning to get into the sharing economy by using Airbnb, I want you to know how to avoid getting in trouble with the law. Now, what makes a rental legal? The first thing you need to know is that in most cities, if you're renting out your home, it has to be your primary residence. That means that it's where you live most of the time and not just when you leave town or go on vacation. If someone were to come and check on any given day, they should always find evidence that you live there. Mail piled up on the kitchen counter, toys strewn about the living room floor, or dirty dishes in the sink. If there's no sign that anyone lives there at all, then you could be violating city laws and getting yourself in serious legal trouble. Number 4, they don't understand how Airbnb works. Want to know a not-so-famous reason why Airbnb hosts fail? It's because they don't know how Airbnb works. Even if you live in a touristy area though, you still need to understand what makes a good listing and how to market it effectively. There are some things you can do as a host that will help increase the chances of having more guests stay at your place. Number 1, always have clean sheets. Number 2, don't overcharge for cleaning fees. Make sure they cover the cost of cleaning supplies and time spent scrubbing toilets. Number 3, make sure your photos accurately reflect what guests will find when they arrive. No surprises. Number 5, their property isn't clean, safe, or up to par. When a guest arrives at your home, they expect it to be clean. If you don't take the time to clean your home before guests arrive, they may feel like they are intruding in someone else's space. If you don't have enough time to clean thoroughly, consider hiring a cleaning service to come and do the job for you. Know this: if your home isn't safe for guests, they may not want to stay with you again. It is important that your home has working smoke detectors and fire extinguishers in case of an emergency. You should also make sure that all electrical outlets are covered so that guests cannot accidentally touch them while using appliances or charging devices. In addition to being clean and safe for guests, your property must be up to date with modern amenities so that visitors can enjoy their stay without feeling outdated or uncomfortable with dated furniture or appliances. Number 6, they are not prepared for the risks involved. When you rent your home out through rental arbitrage, you become an entrepreneur. You're essentially running a small business, as you have to manage your guests and make sure they are satisfied with their stay. This takes time and effort, but it's also incredibly rewarding. One of the biggest risks involved in being an entrepreneur is that it's hard to predict what will happen in the future. You might have a great idea for a business, but then something could happen that changes your entire situation overnight. These can both be difficult situations to deal with and can lead to financial loss if you aren't prepared for them ahead of time. But by taking care of these kind of things ahead of time, like having liability insurance, you can protect yourself from unexpected events like this from happening while still enjoying running a small business. Number 7. They just don't have time to run a short-term rental business. Trust me, I know everyone has their own problems to deal with, but if you're looking to start a short-term rental business, here's one thing you should know. Running a short-term rental business is time-consuming. It's true, running an Airbnb is a lot of work. It takes time, energy, and dedication to make it work. And when you're busy running your own business or managing other aspects of your life, it can be hard to find the time and energy to invest in another business venture. But if you're serious about making money with Airbnb, you need to keep at it, and here's why. Your first guest could be staying for just one night, but once they leave, you could have more people wanting to stay at your place than ever before. That means not only more income from Airbnb itself, but also more opportunities for longer-term rentals as word spreads about how great your space is. Don't get me wrong, I know nobody wants to hear this, because who doesn't want to spend their weekend lounging in a pool or watching Netflix instead of doing chores? But the truth is that if you want to be successful at short-term rentals, you need to make it a priority. Number 8, they are not organized and tech-savvy. Let's be honest, Airbnb hosts have to deal with a lot, managing a property, dealing with guests and their needs, and having to be there when the guests arrive. If you're not organized, you can't keep track of all these things, and if you don't keep track of them, they'll slip through the cracks. You won't be able to get in touch with guests as quickly as they expect. They might be disappointed or feel like they aren't being treated right. If you're not tech-savvy, you won't be able to respond quickly enough to emails or texts from guests. They might think you're ignoring them or that there's no one available at your place. And if you're disorganized and don't have tech skills, this can lead to a lot of lost money. You might lose potential renters because they don't want to deal with someone who can't handle things like a professional would. Number 9, their space is not right for the Airbnb marketplace. If you're thinking of becoming an Airbnb host, you'll want to make sure your space is just right. Yes, and if your place doesn't fit the bill of what people expect from an Airbnb stay, it can be hard for them to book your listing or even find it in the first place. But there are ways to overcome this problem. For example, if your home is too small, consider offering multiple rooms instead of just one. Or if it's too large, consider renting out individual rooms and making those available as private spaces within the house. It all comes down to one thing: knowing your audience and giving them what they want. Number 10. They just don't have the personality it takes to be an Airbnb host. Honestly, this is a hard truth, but one that I think you should hear. When you're an Airbnb host, it's not just about having a spare room in your house to rent out, it's about being someone who really enjoys hosting strangers and wants to make sure that their guests have a great experience. If you're not the kind of person who loves to talk to new people, the kind of person who loves hearing about other people's lives and learning about their cultures, then maybe this isn't the business for you. Hosting isn't just about making money, it's also about connecting with people from all over the world and helping them have an authentic experience while visiting your city or town. Let me know in the comments how you believe everyone should go about using rental arbitrage. In fact, if you want to get a step-by-step breakdown of how rental arbitrage works, watch this next video where we go into complete detail. So click the video on the screen now and we'll see you in the next one.